that. So the head, the fat. We didn't eat the fat. We know the blood was drained out.
To the Lord. Verse 14. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Lord be of fowls, then he shall bring his young pigeons, and the priest shall bring it unto the altar. And
so we're good? Yeah, go ahead. So pigeons are lawful animals, right? They always put a bad spin on pigeons, right? But you know who made me look at pigeons in a different light? Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson and my dad. My dad had a pigeon coop, and he would house pigeons, and you know they're actually nice. They're actually nice birds, man. They make a little soothing. They make that little cooing noise. You ever heard a bunch of pigeons in the city? Ooh, right? They make like this, and it's soothing though. You're like, oh wow, it's pretty nice. And you got different, you know, you got those brownish kind of doves. Well, you got white doves, right? But then you got the brown, almost speckled pigeons. They're nice birds, man. They're nice birds. My dad would always have a pigeon coop. It's weird. Like every house we went to, pigeons and fish was his things, you know. So they're lawful animals. You can eat pigeons. Now, would I recommend you go eat the New York City pigeons? Yeah. They make those birds filthy because people just feed them everything, right? It's just like goats. Like goats are a lawful animal, but goats will eat whatever you give it, right? So you were supposed to watch your animal to make sure it wasn't just out there eating the laundry. That was always the thing about goats, right? They eat laundry. They eat things off the hamper. That's not their natural thing to do, but they'll do it, especially when they living in third world countries. Come on, I've seen dogs in Jamaica. When I used to live in Jamaica, they used to eat plastic just to fill their bellies. They would eat plastic, right? That's the condition. That's that third world condition. Do dogs normally eat plastic? No. Right, but they'll eat it to feel full, right? So pigeons, lawful animal. I think somebody had asked about that a while back, but yeah, pigeons are lawful. Doves, they're lawful. Go ahead.
and wring of his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the sides of the altar, and he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes, and he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto the Lord. Leviticus chapter 2, verse 1. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Lord.
Right, so that was the burnt offering. Right? So you might want to write in your Bible from 3 down to 17, burnt offering. Now it's going to go into the meat offering. Now I remember way back in my day, I thought the meat offering was actual meat. Like flesh, but it's not. There's no flesh in the meat offering. It's going to explain to us what the meat offering is. Watch, read verse 1.
Verse 1. And when any will offer a meat offering of the Lord,
right,
his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon.
Right, remember, frankincense is considered what? What is it? It's not a herb. What is it? Frankincense was considered a spice. Remember when he said you're going to take the spices and make the anointing oil for the... No, that's in Exodus. We just read it. Remember when he said you were going to make the anointing oil for the priest and for the tabernacle? He said take principal spices, the calamus, the frankincense. Right, it'd be considered a spice. Right? So somebody, I'm going over this like this because I know somebody had asked before, can you eat frankincense? Well, yeah, you can. Once you burn it up and do all that, yeah, it can be ingested. You can, I actually have it at home. I have the frankincense oil that is ingestible, right? When I eat these rocks that are right here, nah, they've been processed. They've been processed in a way, yeah, I wouldn't eat those rocks. You can chew them, but I wouldn't eat those rocks. I don't know what they did to those. Remember, frankincense and myrrh only come from one region of the world, right? It's I was watching something. It only really comes from like Ethiopia, around that area. It's a specific tree that it comes from, which those trees are going extinct. They just keep tapping the damn trees and not replanting them. They're stupid as hell. So frankincense and myrrh is going to go up because you're not going to be able to find it. Just like oud, that's going to go up. Just like, because it's the same process. It's a different tree in a different region of the world, but the Muslims, they use that for prayer, right? But yeah, it's like maple, from a maple tree, right? The maple is just sweet. They tap that tree, they cut it, then the maple runs out, they collect the maple. Just sweet. That's the difference. So yes, it's edible, right? Even when you smell and burn frankincense and myrrh, frankincense by itself, it got a little small sweet type of smell to it when you get past all the other stuff. So yes, it's edible. So you put the flour, the oil, the frankincense. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons, the priest, and he shall take thereof his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar to be an offering made by fire of a sweet Savior unto the Lord. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord.
So what's crazy when you look at the offerings? It was just a meal that was set up. You had some cakes, you had some meat, then you had a drink offering, which was some wine. So you had it wasn't no 5-course meal, right? Well, you had a little small mini. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm good with some meat and some taco shells and some meat. I'm good with some meat and some bread, right? It's just the basic necessities that every man needed, that every woman could get by on. Even when we dealt with each other, whenever we had guests, what would we do? We go slaughter a lamb real quick, bake some cakes, right? And that was the meal. Probably hit a little wine or whatever the case may be, some figs for dessert, right? Little fig here and there. Figs are the truth. I've been looking into those figs. But yeah, we kept it basic. It was nutritious, right? It was quick. It wasn't nothing to start a fire and burn up some meat, man. And that same fire, you cook your little bread, your little unleavened bread, your leavened cakes. Let's go in, right? Mini feast, right? Hey, so this is it right here. It just showed me like it was like a whole meal for the Levites. Wine, bread, and meat. Whatever meat you got dove. You can eat you some dove, eat you some lamb, some goat, right? Some oxen. Just depends on what was going on. I mean, we really didn't eat the ox like that because that was the animal for work, right? So you really didn't eat all the ox and things like that. You would do more of the goats, the sheep, the lamb, the doves, right? The quails. Right, what else? The deer, antelope, if that was around, whatever, those lawful animals. But, the ox, we would the ox and the cow, you do your cow. The ox we would keep for work. You might more slaughter a cow than an ox because that ox was the puller. That was treading out the corn. That was doing your work around for your business and carrying those burdens. The ox, the mule, right? We don't eat mules. So go ahead. Different assortments of dainty things. Go ahead.
Made by fire.
Mhm.
Verse 4. And thou bring an oblation of a meat offering, baking in the oven. It shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or unleavened wafers anointed with oil. And if thy oblation be a meat offering, baken in a pan, it shall be a fine flour unleavened, mingled with oil. Thou shalt part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And in the oblation be a meat offering, baken in the frying pan. It shall be made a fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Lord. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron.
That's it? Any questions on that?
Sir.
Sisters, any questions? All right, let's get the next read. Sabbath, S.O.W, Yahweh, Imagine. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. You could have 7 readers if my guy in the back would get it together. Yep. If my guy in the back would get it together. He got his glasses, he got everything. My guy in the back, man. Waiting on you, youngin'. My guy in the back. Got it together, man. You know what I'm saying? We got 7 readers. Now I gotta read 2. Now I gotta read 2 because the guy in the back, man.
That guy right there.
Yep. Don't worry about video games all day. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 2, verse 10. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Lord made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Lord shall be made with leaven. For ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offerings of the Lord made by fire.
So you weren't supposed to get your honey glazed chicken, right, and burn that up and try to bring that as an offering. You weren't supposed to put leaven in anything that you offered to the Most High. You didn't want no leaven. You kept that unleavened. Go ahead.
Verse 12. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Lord, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt.
Ooh.
Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy God to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou
So now we see the significance of salt, right? You better put some flavor on that.
Yeah, you better put some flavor on
You better put some flavor on that. You gotta be palatable, right? salt makes things taste better.
It does.
I mean, let's just be real.
Let's keep it real.
Salt makes things savory,
Come.
right? A little salt with a little sweet, right? Yeah. So, yeah, man, we were supposed to add salt when we made these things. Go ahead.
Verse 14. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Lord. Chapter 3, verse 1.
Any questions on that? So remember, we're going over these offerings. So, you write, you write it. Meat offering, this offering, that offering. So now we're going to deal with the peace offering. So think about it. This is talking about the first fruit meat offering and how to do that. You see that? So there was a distinction between the first, because remember, the first fruits you gave what? The first of what? First of your increase, right?
Right.
Right. That's right after the Passover, when you have first fruits. So he's showing how you give an offering of first fruits, but it's still a burnt offering. What you would give, you wouldn't make the corn, you wouldn't bring the flour and the oil, you would bring corn and oil. Y'all see that? Right. So there was different stipulations, but you had to know this stuff. Now we understand Cain. Now we understand more about Cain. Cain, listen, it said Cain brought what he thought he wanted to bring, right? But Abel brought what was acceptable. Listen, even if it was y'all both bring non-animal sacrifice, even if he would have brought the wrong one, he would have still been off. Let's say he would have brought the wrong meat offering. Well, I want the corn and the wine, and you bringing me wheat and oil. I want the corn and oil, but you bringing me wheat and oil. He'd have still been wrong, right? Because it's not what the Most High wanted. So he gave us these stipulations in the law to let us know what I want at what time. What time warrants certain sacrifice and things like that. Very important. So go ahead.
Chapter 3, verse 1. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the whole above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto the Lord. And if his offering for a sacrifice of a peace offering unto the Lord be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Lord, the fat thereof, and the whole rump. It shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the whole above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall...
Real quick. Hey, shalom to y'all online. If y'all got questions off the topic, we answer them after the reading. So you got to wait a little while, but we will answer the questions. We'll answer them after the reading. That's how we do the reading. If there's questions on the topic, we'll take those. And then anything off the topic we take after we're done with the reading. That way it's not all choppy and everybody can kind of stay with what's going on. So y'all can ask y'all questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them after. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto the Lord. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Lord. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord. The fat that covered the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is the Lord's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
Right, so you weren't, you know, one of the things I used to see my grandma do was she'd bust them bones open and suck that bone marrow out. You weren't supposed to eat that. Yeah, all that stuff you weren't supposed to be chewing that down and sucking the blood out of the damn beef bones. And bro, you cooked with it, you got the flavor, and you discarded of the bone. My grandma used to sit there and bust them bones down. I'm talking about chicken bone. Every time she ate chicken, them chicken bones was decimated. They were destroyed. I mean, into little. She would bite them and chew them to the point where it was just bone on the plate, but it was just all crumpled up.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like a pit bull just eating bone, right? I mean, you didn't want to do that. You didn't eat the blood. You didn't eat the bone. You didn't eat the fat. All that fat. Listen, you're gonna have fat in the meat, right? In certain things, you're gonna have marbling in the meat, right? But all that fat around the organs, you're supposed to cut that away, right? We cut that away and we specifically burnt it on the altar. We didn't discard it, right? You would burn that, and what would that do? That would keep that fire going. That fat drips into that fire, right? That's what the Most High wanted. He wanted that fat, that blood. We used the blood to sprinkle around the altar as a blood covenant, right? The kidneys. We didn't eat the kidneys. We didn't eat the caul, the liver, right? Why did we do with those? Because those things were the filtration of the animal. All your kidneys do is filter things. All your liver does is filter things. All those things, the caul and all those things, different things, those are filtration or secretion. They secrete different liquids to have your body function the right way, right? So your liver secretes things, everything secretes liquid for you to break down, and bile and all those different things for you to break down food.
Right.
You didn't eat those organs, man. You wasn't walking around, where's the gallbladder at? Let me get that. Where's this? Where's that? No, we disregarded of those things.
Liver.
Yeah, the liver, the kidney, right? I mean, come on. Remember back in the day when they made you eat liver?
Oh man.
When it just tastes like iron? It tastes like a bunch of metal?
Nasty.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Liver and onions.
They want to put hot sauce on it, try to cover it up.
Try to jazz it up. Bro, you can't jazz up certain things like chitlins. Chitlins and livers and all. You can't jazz that up and take away the taste or the smell. Liver tastes like liver. Liver and onions taste like liver and onions. Right? No matter how you jazz it up, how much cream or mushroom sauce you put on it, whatever the hell black folks or whatever folks be doing, you can't change it. No matter how much hot sauce you put in chitlins, and how much pepper, and how long you soak it in water, how many 15 times you boil them to get the smell out. You just making your house stink. Chitlins is gonna be chitlins. They just are what they are. It's the DNA. It's embedded into that animal. So if it's cleaning the blood, you don't want to deal with it. If it's cleaning the whole entire animal's defecation, you don't want to deal with it. Pork and pig rectum, boneless pig rectum, and all that stuff that they out there eating. We didn't mess with that. We didn't mess with pigs at all as far as burning them up. But as far as even the clean animals, there were parts of the clean animals that we didn't eat. All right? There were parts of the clean animals we didn't eat. I'll say it again. There were parts of the clean animal that we didn't eat. Go to Leviticus 9 and 10. Wait a minute. No. Oh, Leviticus 9. Leviticus 9. Right? And verse. Yeah, read that.
Leviticus 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Leviticus chapter 9, verse 10.
Right, so remember it said that they took away the kidneys and the caul and they did all that?
God.
But where they take them, it make you seem like they took them away and put them somewhere else. No, read Leviticus 9 and verse 10.
Leviticus chapter 9, verse 10. But the fat and the kidney and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar.
You see that? Those got burnt on the altar. They got arranged in a certain way. So the kidney, the caul, the fat, the blood, the head, the legs, those things got ordered up in a certain way, and they just sat there and they just burned the whole time. And that fat kept that fire going. Go ahead.
As the Lord commanded Moses, and the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp.
Right, no, that's it on that one. Go to 17. Go to Leviticus 17 and verse 10.
Verse 10.
Yeah, 17, Leviticus 17 and verse 10.
Leviticus chapter 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood.
Why you think the Most High got his face set against Esau?
It's true.
I just seen an article. There's like this new diet that one of these little garbage actresses is on. Let's see, she eating bison heart. Uncooked bison heart. Like, bruh, y'all really out here eating bison? Where is it at? Let me see here. It was on Twitter. Let's see here. See if I can find it. Yeah, this chick's out here. Yeah, Heidi Montag snacks on bison heart as part of her raw meat diet. Bruh. Bruh. Raw meat diet. But that's what they on. There was an Edomite on Facebook. This dude swole as hell. He looked like a caveman. Beard down to his knees, muscles everywhere, and what does he eat? Raw chicken, raw beef, raw steak.
Yep.
Raw. But where they get that from?
Their ancestors.
They get that from their ancestors, man. Why you think the Most High don't deal with Esau? There's so many reasons why the Most High has a hate for the white man.
God.
Because they just walk around eating raw flesh. Look at the Jeffrey Dahmers of this world. And this ain't no cap. This chick is sitting here. I wish I could show y'all.
Oh, damn.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look. Ripping the damn bison heart up in her teeth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. A bag of bison heart. Just walking through Hollywood like it's all good.
Like a snack.
Yeah, because that's what they snack on.
She mad at kisses.
Look, I don't know if I can see it in the camera. Yeah, then she gonna get, her husband gonna kiss her in the mouth. Yeah, bro, this is straight out the deli.
Yeah.
But her damn, she got a Gucci belt on. Right?
It's wild.
She called eating raw meat the breakfast of champions.
Right. Okay.
Eating raw liver in February. She shared a video of herself eating raw liver. Bruh, they eating raw meat. They still got the blood in it.
That's nasty.
And it's the organ. It's the heart. So that's even worse. Come on, man. What type of diseases is she running around with in her gut?
That's true.
She'll be the one that dies. They bust her brain open and see all types of maggots.
Yep.
If she'll eat raw beef, bro, nothing is against eating raw chicken,
That's right.
eating raw pig, right? And we know what the pig got. Eating raw fish. Ugh. Like, how do you even eat these things raw? They're not even, like, your teeth can't rip through the meat. You gotta cook them,
Not good for that.
right? That's the problem that Saul ran into. Remember with Saul, when you read the story of Saul, when they went to go do what? They went to go fight the Philistines, and Saul had these dudes out there working, trying to kill the Philistines without no break. And when they finally took a break, they couldn't even wait for the food to be cooked.
Yeah, they was eating.
They just start eating raw meat. They just start eating this right off the, barely seared. Done.
Yep.
Now you better cook that through, man. Why? Because you're getting the disease out of the animal, if there's any contamination that's going to be there. Bacterium. Automatically, when something dies and when something is alive, there is bacteria. But when it dies, there's bad bacteria that comes. Esau will tell you, oh yeah, that's good bacteria. That's what brings the flavor. So we'll let the meat sit for 2 months before it hits your kitchen table, and it starts to putrefy. It starts to stink, and because they hang it upside down in a cooler, it's all good. They're the ones that will let meat hang and go shave it off 8 years later, talking about, ooh, tasty, because they dipped it in salt. Bruh, come on, man. But the point is,
Beef jerky.
the blood. You're not supposed to be eating the blood. You're not supposed to drink blood. That vampire life, all that stuff that they be pushing to y'all kids on TV.
Yep.
Wizards of Waverly Place and Twilight and all that crap. You're not supposed to be drinking blood. I keep telling you, I knew a dude that drank blood, and I could tell he drank blood because his teeth were so degraded. His whole teeth were gone. Like, you taking in all that iron and all that, bro. It started to, but then his skin was so pale, and he just looked unhealthy. And he would sit there and tell me, y'all think he'd be biting chicks in the neck, drinking their blood. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, he was into that vampire stuff. Yeah, bro. Oh yeah. Esau, if you get close to him long enough, they'll tell you all about the fun stuff they into. What's that?
And what was the movie star's name again?
What's what?
The movie star.
Oh, this person is her name is like Kylie Montag, I think. I'm not sure what she does. She might be a little actress.
Okay,
Let me
I thought
see.
she-
Heidi Montag. Let's see who this woman is. She's probably some actress. Heidi Montag. Heidi Montega. Let's see here. Yeah, but that's why the Most High don't deal with American TV personality. That's why the Most High don't deal with Esau, man. It's all over the place. Heidi Montag is eating raw bison animal organs. Is it safe?
Ugh.
Hell no, it ain't safe. She's some reality TV singer and actress. Damn, she's from Colorado, from Crescent Butte. They up there eating all types of raw deer. Yeah. So, yeah, man. That's what they on. They're on what their forefathers was on. Eating raw flesh, eating meat with the blood in it. Why wouldn't you eat that? Well, the scriptures tell us. What? Watch, read on. I think it's in here.
That priest said, and will cut him off from among his people.
What verse are you at?
Oh, verse 10.
Read verse 11.
Verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the
The
blood.
life of the flesh is in the blood. What does that mean? Whatever that animal went through, it's in that blood. Whatever that animal went through, whatever scars and cuts and pricks and walking around barefoot, right, walking on this filthy land, it's in the blood of the animal. Think about it. A lot of humans walk around with blood disease, with diseases in your blood, and you can tell by what? Look at your toenails.
Yeah.
If you look at your toenails and they're yellow and brittling, you got blood issues. And that's easily fixed. Little hibiscus tea, a little charcoal, some little oregano oil, olive oil. Those things will clean your blood out. What's that?
I was gonna say that everything you're saying is true because when I was eating bad in the world, I started getting like age spots on my face, and
You try to get a what?
yeah, like age spots,
Oh, okay,
stuff
yep.
like that. And when I changed the whole diet up and I started drinking teas and everything, all that went away.
Yeah.
You know? So everything you're saying is true. You gotta look at your health is, man, they say his health is wealth. It ain't lying. You know?
Yeah, it is. You know, and it all, if your blood is bad, that means that what filters your blood? Your liver. Right? Your liver, your kidneys, if those things are, if your blood is bad, that means your organs are bad.
Right.
But if an animal's blood is bad, it means its organs is bad. That means, but the flesh is affected by it also. But it's not as affected because the blood is not coursing just through flesh. It's going through those organs.
Right.
You see that? So the life, go ahead, read it again.
Oh, Leviticus chapter 17, verse 11. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your soul.
The blood was to make the atonement for our souls, blood for blood. That blood was shed so you didn't have to shed your blood. The animal's blood was meant to be shed so you didn't die. Not for you to drink, not for you to. Yeah. Have you, like, just go to a slaughterhouse, man. Go to a slaughterhouse the next time you get a chance and just watch them kill an animal and take a nice inhale. It's disgusting. The smell of blood is disgusting. Yeah. You know blood when you smell it. The sight of blood to me is disgusting. It is. It bubbles up. You can see the steam coming off it. It's so hot, and it's so thick. The coagulation and it automatically starts to thicken as it pulls up. It's disgusting, man. So we weren't supposed to drink that. Go ahead.
For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
Right. So it was either your blood or the animal's blood. But if you're drinking it all, then how are you going to atone? If you're eating the meat raw, how are you going to atone? So we weren't supposed to eat raw flesh. We weren't supposed to drink blood. Jump back. Leviticus to where you at, Benaiah.
Leviticus 4, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
That was it? Who's going to read next? Any questions on the reading so far? Just a reminder, we're not going to be having class Monday because we got Purim Monday and Tuesday. Please, reminder, if you're getting a garment and you sign that paper, please get your money in. The sisters hit me up. They're at a standstill with garments as far as ordering. We only got a month. So if they can't order the rest of the stuff for the garments because brothers ain't paying, your garment's going to be halfway. So please get your money in. Say while we got people online. Wow, we already went through. Okay. Breathe. Ramiro Shabbat Shah, Yashikar, Bun, Yasharala, Aymaju, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Shah Brakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah. Ramiro Shabbat Shah. Yeah, bro. Yeah. That was a rough morning. Wow. Ramiro Shabbat Shah, Yashikar. Right, I'm thinking about Yashikar, Shabbat Shah, Yashikar. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Think about it. Why do you think? Why do you think they always, these Illuminati and these upper elite? They talk about these blood rituals, and the what is it called? Adrenoqueen? Should I Google this or not? They're gonna be adrenoqueen. It's like from what I understand, they get a kid real scared, kill him, and then all the adrenaline is in the blood.
Then
They drink it.
Right.
Yeah, what is it called? Adrenoqueen?
Yeah, that's something to do with adrenaline, though.
It's adrenaline. Yeah, they got a word for it.
Yeah.
Adrenoqueen? But they know what's going on with the blood. They know that blood is made to atone.
Yeah.
But they use it. You know, when you got the Levites today, when they do their little sacrifices with the chickens, what are they doing? They're spitting blood everywhere, sprinkling blood, because that blood is supposed to. The Most High was looking for that blood to atone, right? They're trying to use that for whatever God they worship, for the same purpose, but just on the back end.
Latinos do it too.
Oh yeah, they love their candles and their chickens.
Yep.
It's weird. It's like that's the only animal they sacrifice. Maybe because it's the smaller one, and they could fit in their little sanctuaries of their house. I don't know. They'd probably be hell trying to get a adrenochrome. That's what it is. Adrenochrome. Yeah, bro, that's a thing. They're killing kids. They get them real scared. They get the adrenaline pumping and they kill them because the adrenaline is in the blood.
Right.
Right, but see, even when we sacrifice our animals, you weren't supposed to be chasing the animal around the damn sanctuary to kill it. The animal was supposed to go willingly. So that adrenaline wasn't pumping through its blood, pumping into the meat. Yeah, man. There wasn't nothing that we did. That's why I talked about it earlier. The offering was a willing offering. It wasn't by constraint. When we go get our lamb, we're not out there, bro. Get the water away from the Bible. We're not out there like chasing the lambs and kicking them in the throat and body slamming them and getting them hype and then trying to go kill them. We're like, okay, we need this one, we need this one, we need this one. We walk into the pen and we start walking them, and they walk towards us, or they walk with us. You hold them, you grab them. I ain't gonna lie, not all the time. I remember there was one. I think was not trying to go. He was a big fluffy guy, bro. He grabbed him by the foot and he was kicking with the other foot, like no. He was dragging him. What?
I remember one time when me and Kazak and you and Zion, we went to the slaughterhouse and I got my shoe stuck in the gate.
Right?
And then when the sheep tried to eat the shoe.
What did she try to eat your shoe? I remember. Yeah, he been going ever since because he needs to see that. Right? He needs to get a conscience towards this blood in these animals. But yeah, that adrenaline, you didn't want that. There was supposed to be a calmness about what about the sacrifices, you know what I mean? But you didn't drink that blood, because if that animal did go kicking and screaming, what were you gonna drink? Right. All the disease, all the adrenaline. Come on, man. All that fear that was in that animal, all that adrenaline, all that, just whatever was in that animal's life that he went through. He might have ate something bad and just sat dormant in his blood, and you drank that. You ate that meat raw. The fire was a purging mechanism. Fire purges. Right. The hotter the flame, the more purge you get. But the thought is that the flame is going to kill anything that can sit inside of a body of an animal. If you cook it well enough to where you don't see the blood, then that means that whatever disease and filth is in there is gone. But you can't be like, oh, girl eating bison hearts raw. So like, where are we in the reading? We're at Leviticus 4 and verse 1. We're about to start. Trying to make our people believe there's nothing wrong with eating that. Trend-setting. Hate to say it, but because our people always copying them. Yeah, our people. That's the problem. Our people are always copying them. They love to copy the white man. Benaiah, you know how to put up pictures on there? Go ahead. Come on, man. Man of many hats. Right? If you know how to do it, you got to do it. Great man. We got to get some photos up. Look for that photo of Kali Montag eating bison heart, so they can see it. It won't be hard to find because it's like trending news. Right? But yeah, they definitely try to seduce our people into doing these things. Why? Why do they seduce our people? Because, go to Judith real quick. Go to Judith 5, right? And verse 20.
Judith 5, chapter 20.
Right.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people,
Right?
and they sin against their power,
Go ahead.
let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
Go ahead.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Go ahead.
But
See, our sin is our ruin. Us going against the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, that's to our detriment, is what the scriptures is saying. The nations knew this. They know it now. That's why they come up with these damn, every minute there's some TikTok trend.
Yeah.
Every minute there's some type of trend to keep you sinning. There's some type of movement to keep you confused. Black Lives Matter. You got niggas trying to go out to Ukraine. I just see it on the news break. You got black folk trying to go out to Ukraine. To Khazar land.
Wow.
Yeah.
You niggas is trying to go to Ukraine to fight for Ukraine?
You want your 5 feet off?
Your oppressors? Bro, they sending $12 billion in aid to Ukraine. They don't need your help. They don't need your help. But you know what the crazy part is? The Ukrainians, they going to Sierra Leone. What they doing? They begging Africans, can you come fight? They got, because you know they got an embassy in Sierra Leone. Ukraine does. They're literally trying to recruit Africans to go fight for them. The same Africans that they don't want to let them get on the train to get the hell up out of Ukraine.
same thing.
Yeah. I was watching the one news story. He was like, listen, they made me stand for 14 hours on the train. And they said I couldn't sit because I wasn't a citizen. So if I'm not a citizen, why the hell are you trying to get me to fight for your country? This ain't my war. You got niggas from America talking about let's go fight for Ukraine against Russia? I mean, listen, I get it. Everybody's rooting for the underdog. And y'all might want the underdog to prevail. Russia is gonna roll these niggas over.
They're already in there. They saying
Putin is gonna run these niggas over.
Yep.
Ukraine don't stand a chance. They're gonna catch Zelensky, they're gonna behead him, probably on camera.
Yeah.
Okay, they're gonna destroy, they already kidnapped one mayor. They're not playing. Like Russia's military is barely even in Ukraine like that. Russia, Putin, he's capping. I'm not gonna send no more troops. He got 1 million troops waiting in Russia to go into Ukraine. Ukraine is gonna get. It don't matter if it take a year. It don't matter if it take 2. Russia is not backing down. So why would your dumb Negro self talk about let's go, bro? I'm telling you, it just popped up when I was driving up here. Damn. Some black man, his family's like, no, don't do it. This nigga's talking about he about to go do it. I'm like, what are you talking about? I wish I could find it. Man, it popped up right when I pulled up, and then he spilled my coffee in the car. Yeah, where's it at? So funny. Niggas will go fight in Ukraine, but won't fight for their own freedom. You won't do the things. And how do we fight for our freedom? Well, is it picking up guns and going to war? No, it's picking up this Bible. Right? So they know, the nations know if the iniquity is in us, we're susceptible to all their attacks. That's why they keep us in iniquity. That's why they keep us eating bison hearts like he got up there. That's why they keep us eating filth. That's why they keep us eating pork, shrimp, crab, lobster, these fashion trends and drugs and chasing money and chasing them. Right? The scriptures say, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his ways. But what do we continue to do? We choose his ways, and it keeps us in this situation. Watch, read on.
Judah chapter 5 verse 21. But if there be no iniquity in their nation,
Right?
let my Lord now pass by, lest their Lord defend them.
Lest their Lord does what?
Defend them.
Yeah, like why ain't the Most High defending us? The Most High ain't doing nothing really, but just letting us blow in the wind. I mean, think about it. The Most High ain't really doing nothing but letting us just go at each other and kill each other and destroy each other. Bro, I watched one video last night. I almost wanted to jump through Facebook and smack these little kids. These 3 little kids and their grandmama. Bro, tell me why a little boy, he had to have been at least 10 years old. He was probably 10 years old. This dude was overweight. He was a big little 10-year-old. But his grandma, I'm talking about, this woman was old. She had to at least be 80, 90 years old, decrepit, can't really walk like that, hunched over. Tell me why this dude kicked her so hard, she just fell back. She got up, he kicked her again. Boom, and he's like puffing up at her. Somebody's recording this, mind you. I think it was his mom that was recording it.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, they start, and then the little brother comes, and he start beating on the grandma.
Oh my.
Then they get her on the couch. I'm talking about this is real. This ain't no, because of the thing. It said that they were brought up on charges. The kids were the mom was brought up on like adding to the delinquency of a minor.
This was Jake.
Bruh, come on, you know it was.
Oh my gosh.
You know it was our people.
I don't like that.
But no, this is the coldest part. So the little girl, she walked out the kitchen with a frying pan and walked into the room with it and gave it to the little boy, and he started beating Granny in the foot because she was holding on to the big boy. She started beating her in the foot with the frying pan. I'm like, I literally sat there last night. It was the last thing I watched. I wanted to jump through my phone and go stone that little boy. Go stone them damn kids.
That mother would have killed that.
That's but and moms is sitting there like, okay, y'all stop, come on, like it was no big deal.
No.
But that's why they brought her up on charges.
Yeah.
But see, the Most High ain't defending us because that's what we on. We're not on dealing with the elderly. We're not on the widow, the fatherless, the poor. We're on abusing each other, taking advantage of each other. Right? What you at? 5 and 20?
Come on, sir.
Go ahead.
And their God before them,
Right?
and we become a reproach before all the world.
Yeah. The only way for the nations to become a reproach. I mean, you know, we all see what's going on in these countries, these wars and all these things, and everybody talking about, oh my God, this is it. This is the end. But that's why now I understand more when the Most High says, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord, for what shall it be for you? Right? Everybody's oh my God, World War III. Oh, we're about to get, the kingdom is coming, y'all. Okay. Okay, but what about the ones that's on Facebook beating up their grandmas?
It's true.
What about the killer and the drug dealer? What about the ones that can't get right? What desire they do? Because a lot of them want to get out of their situation, but how are they going to get out of it? You see that? Go back. Go back to where we left off in Leviticus.
Leviticus chapter 4, verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring forth his sin.
Right, so this is going into if a priest sins. Right? If a priest that is anointed do sin, according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin. Meaning the sin that the priest got to atone for his sin. Go ahead.
Which he has sinned.
Right?
A young bullock without blemish unto the Lord for a sin offering.
Right. So this is when a priest sinned, he got to bring, and this is talking about in ignorance. Right? Out of ignorance. Meaning he didn't purposefully, presumptuously sin. But it says it. If a soul shall sin through ignorance. Remember when the priest sinned on purpose, like Aaron's sons, they were gone. Most High wiped off the face of the earth. You couldn't be the leadership and just being blatantly against the Bible, against the scripture. Right? He gave Aaron a chance. But look at Eli. Look at Eli's sons. Them niggas got wiped off the map. Okay? So this was ignorant by accident. There's many things that happen that happen by accident where it's out of your control. What's that?
I was gonna say it wasn't an accident when Aaron actually made the golden calf.
No, that's what I say. The Most High gave him a chance. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't an accident. He purposefully did that. He presumptuously made that golden calf. Most High showed him mercy.
Right.
But then, why do you think he wiped out his son so quickly? Because they wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
You see that?
Right.
So, if I broke the dietary law by accident, it happens, right? I remember one time I went to and this is why eating out, you got to be careful with eating out, man, because they're not paying attention. I remember I went to Starbucks. This was a while back, and I ordered like the veggie. They have like these veggie wraps or something. I forgot what it was. And I'm driving and eating, trying to get to where I'm going. And you're not paying attention. You driving, you're like, damn, this veggie tasting real good.
Yeah.
Tasting real salty. And you're like, wait a minute. No, that ain't veggie. This got meat in it. And then you're like, oh damn, this ain't just any meat.
Damn.
This is the forbidden manna. Right? It was pork.
Right. It happens.
Then you do. It happens. You just gotta set up your prayers, try to vomit it up, right?
Yeah.
Set up your prayers,
Throw
try to
over
flush
the
out,
rest, yeah.
throw away the rest. You don't keep eating it, you throw it away. I went back, I actually took it back like, hey, y'all gave me the wrong thing. And they were like, oh, well, here's a new one. And they took back the old one. I'm like, yeah, I don't want that. Set up your prayers, ask the Most High for forgiveness. It was out of ignorance, though. It wasn't like I purposely was like, yo, let me get the extra bacon inside of there. They made the mistake. I said veggie, they gave me one with meat. And on top of that, they had pork. You see that? So things like that happen, but that's why you got to avoid letting your oppressor feed you.
That's true.
I mean, I'll give y'all another one. There was a time when the Muslims, they all in UK, they all had an uprising because they found out that they were putting pork enzymes inside of halal chicken and halal beef for flavoring. Pork enzymes, it's no different than eating pork. They found out that they were injecting the chicken and beef with pork enzymes. Niggas lost it. But if that was us eating that, technically that's a sin. You're breaking the dietary law, right? So you ask for forgiveness. Think about how many things you can't pronounce on the label.
That's true.
Think about how many things you don't know are disguised. Pork got many different names on a label.
Go by many names.
They go by many different. They ain't gonna say "and the swine" on the label. Pork. It's not gonna say that. It's not gonna always say that. They're gonna disguise the name. They do it on purpose.
Gelatin.
Yeah, the gelatin, the this, the that. They disguise it, and then you eat it. What you gotta do? You gotta ask for that forgiveness, man, because you're breaking that dietary law. You see that? So there's many ways to sin through it. It's not just the food. There's a lot of different things. You might have misunderstood something. Remember, you might have misunderstood the law and did something and didn't realize it. I remember there was a brother that was rocking. He didn't realize it. You're not supposed to deal with like the ostrich. Remember the ostrich?
Oh, God.
You're not supposed to eat ostrich, the ostrich eggs and all that stuff. You're not supposed to wear the skin on your body. And the brother got a garment made, and it was ostrich leather, and he didn't know, he didn't realize, he thought it was lawful, getting it from another brother, right? But obviously there was a misunderstanding, because when you go into the Bible and you start to read, and they changed, ostrich went by a different name, or went by more than one name, and when you look, you're like, ostrich, wasn't supposed to deal with it, it's unlawful. Wasn't supposed to wear its skin, wasn't supposed to do it. It's like, oh damn, that was an accident. You purposely say, look, let me get the unlawful skins. There's a lot of things that brothers don't realize. You rocking snake skin, gator boots, and stingray, and all that stuff that they taught you that was cool. Dolphin leather, and nah, you wasn't supposed to wear that. You see that? The scriptures say you weren't supposed to wear their carcasses. Yeah, so, there's a lot of things that happen through ignorance where brothers you gotta repent. You gotta bring your offering, set up your offering, and right, which is what? That repentant mind, that broken spirit, contrite mind, and move on. And then be more watchful.
Yeah.
When you go out to eat, the things you buy, the garments you wear, you be more watchful of what it is. I went into the leather store the other day to getting the stuff for the Passover garment, and I'm like, this looks too good to be cow skin. Stay away from that, right? They're like, oh well, no, nothing in here is pig. It's all cow. And I'm like, really? Y'all changed it up? They were like, yeah, it's all cow now, all cow hides. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. Because before they used to have a section of pig hides,
Wow.
pig leather, and you know why? Because that pig leather, when they put that color into it, that color looks way better than cow leather. Those exotic colors, like the colors like this,
Right.
when they put on that pig leather, it pops.
Damn.
it's supposed to, man. The bad things are supposed to sparkle for you to be attracted to them, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's set up. So you gravitate towards that. I throw a patch of pig leather on my garment. I'm running around, I think I'm fly. Like, ooh, niggas popping. I get next to the brother, I'm like, damn, why is mine brighter than yours?
What's that? Ooh, that's nice. Yeah.
That's that swine. Like, oh damn, I done messed up. Right? You gotta burn that garment. Garment gotta go out the door, man.
That's how it be.
You don't even take a chance by ripping the patch off. You get rid of that thing.
Yeah.
Right? So there's things that happen through ignorance.
That's a great point.
Right? So he said, bring his sin offering. Watch, read on.
Chapter 4, Leviticus chapter 4, verse 4.
Right?
And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Lord.
That's it. The Detroit man going to Ukraine. That was it. I think he's a pastor too.
Oh.
Yeah, I think so, if I'm not mistaken. But go ahead.
And shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head,
Right?
and kill the bullock before the Lord. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Lord, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covereth the inward, and all the fat that is upon the inward, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flank, and the caul above the liver with the kidney, it shall he take away. And it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock and all his flesh, which with his head and with his leg and his inward and his dung. Even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole congregation of Israel sinned through ignorance.
What verse you at?
On 13.
Right. You see that? So these are the steps that the priest had to take if he sinned through ignorance. He had to get that bullock, right? He had to dip his finger in the blood, sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Lord and before the veil of the sanctuary. Right? That the blood will go on the horn of the altar. Right? And then the fat that covers the inwards, the 2 kidneys, the fat that's on them, the flank, the caul, the liver with the kidneys, he shall take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offering. Then the priest shall burn them upon the, so that would go onto the fire of the burnt offering if a priest sinned, right? And the skin of the bullock and all his flesh with his head and with his legs and his inwards and his dung. Even the whole bullock shall be carried forth without the camp unto the clean place. What did that mean? What did that signify? Carrying the bullock outside the camp.
Is it
What did it signify?
like a scapegoat?
It
It kind of represents that. a little
well, it represent taking his sin out of the congregation. So not a scapegoat, because that's different. You had the scapegoat, Azalea, you had that where they sent the goat off,
bit. Right.
and that was the sin leaving. But it's kind of the same. You take it without the camp, signifying you're removing that thing from the people. Right?
Con.
Right. Right, now go to verse 13.
Verse 13. And if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they had done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Lord. And the bullock shall be killed before the Lord.
Right, taking that accountability. The priests, the heads, right? Taking that accountability. Somebody sinned and it wasn't known. He sinned through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly. Because you have people that, again, they do things through ignorance and they be hid. Nobody knows. But then you got people that do things on purpose, presumptuously. Right? I'm committing adultery. But we might not know. I'm not in y'all's bedroom. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on up in there. I don't want to be either. Right? But there's things that happen. Again, we just went through a few of them. You might have nibbled on a little pork or something that you weren't supposed to eat that was unlawful, or
You didn't know this law.
right, you didn't know the law, whatever it was, you misunderstood and you made the wrong move.
Right.
It's still a sin, and we might not know it. But then we'll find out what we got to do. Well, you got to repent. You got to set up your prayers. Obviously we're not sacrificing animals at this point, right? We're not like, oh yeah, well you got to set up your sacrifices, and you know what I'm saying, get your altar.
Your doves.
Nah, what you do? Yeah, go catch you the first pigeon you see downtown Houston. Nah, you set up, you get you some frankincense and myrrh. You set your prayers up. You study. You repent. You get your mind right. You watch for that offense not to happen again. It's confess your faults. It's as simple as that. You don't, we're not sacrificing animals.
So yes, Jesus Christ.
Right? So, what verse are you at?
Verse 16.
Go ahead.
And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood and sprinkle it 7 times before the Lord, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horn of the altar which is before the Lord, that is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering,
Right?
which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this, and the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation.
You know what's cool about this? When you look at this, the high level of accountability that the priests have to be on. Now, when you read about Eli's sons, check this out. Let's go there real quick. What is it, in Samuel's?
First Samuel.
Check this out.
You want to talk about Eli's sons?
Yeah, to
Verse 18.
read 1 Samuel 2 and 12. Read it.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 12.
All right?
Now the sons of Eli
Remember, Eli was a high priest. Go ahead.
were sons of Belial.
Right. They were sons of the devil because of the way they moved. Go ahead.
They knew not the Most High.
Check this out. Read.
And the priest's custom with the people was that
So they made up their own custom. Go ahead.
when any man offered sacrifice.
Offer what?
Sacrifice.
See, this could have been any sacrifice. This could have been a sin sacrifice, sin offering, peace offering. This could have been an offering for sin. Go ahead.
The priest's servant came while the flesh was in seething,
Right?
with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand.
Right. Go ahead.
And he struck it into the pan, or kettle, or cauldron,
So when
or
the
pot.
So when the flesh was in the middle of cooking, the priest would send his servant to grab the meat out before it was cooked all the way. So they grabbing out the meat, they're grabbing out the offering before it's even fit for the offering. Go ahead.
All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither.
Read 15.
Also, before they burnt the fat,
Before they did what?
burnt the fat.
The Bible, we just read it. They said the Bible says that the fat was the Most High's food. The food of the Lord, right? Before they burnt the fat, go ahead.
The priest's servant came
Read.
and said to the man that sacrificed,
Uh-huh.
give flesh.
Give what?
Give flesh.
Give me that fat. Go ahead.
To roast for the priest.
Right?
For he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw.
But what?
But raw.
Huh?
But
You
raw.
want that Kali Montag. You want that raw flesh, man. Right? Go ahead.
And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently,
Uh-huh.
and then take as much as thy soul desireth,
Go ahead.
then he will answer him, nay,
Read.
but thou shalt give it me now.
Raw. Now. Read.
And if not, I will take it by force.
Wow. Read.
Wherefore the sin of the young man was very great
that?
before the Most High.
Therefore the what?
The sin of the young man was very great before the Most
You weren't
High.
supposed to be eating raw meat. You wasn't supposed to be destroying the sacrifice of the Lord, man. Go ahead.
For man abhorred the offering of the Most High.
Men did what?
Abhorred the offering of the Most High.
The city, the men of the city, they hated to give to the Most High now. They hated to give the offering. Why? Because, man, there are all types of things happening. Why? Because these men were misusing and abusing the offering. Look at the high level of accountability you had to have to do this job. But if you were like Eli's sons, right? Now you see why Eli got took out the way he did? Most High had him drop off a wall and break his neck.
No lineage.
Yeah, his whole line got wiped out. But why? Because of the accountability. The sacrifice was important because think about it. If I'm atoning for men's sins, but the priests are wicked, the ones that are supposed to be atoning, they're sinful, then where's the atonement? No, there is none. You see that? So the Most High had to cut that off. So jump back. Just want to throw that in there.
That was fantastic.
You all can see the difference, man. It was a lot of responsibility and accountability when it came to these sacrifices. We
Leviticus chapter 4, verse 22. When the ruler has sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Lord his God concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or his sin wherein he has sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering a kid of the goat, a male without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger and put it upon the horn of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering.
so kind of the same. It's the same process, right? Same process to get these different results. Go ahead.
And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him.
That's it. Any questions on that? Who reads now? Everybody came up? Oh. one Azar, Shabbat the Shah, Yahawada, Banya Shala. I might it. Right?
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatam.
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakatah. Water glasses. So the South African doctor is the first man on earth to cure deafness through surgery. Wow. Interesting. Oh, he ain't. They need him.
Leviticus chapter 4, verse 27. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Lord concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin, which he had sinned, come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin, which he had sinned. Verse 29, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for a sin offering in the place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto the Lord. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he hath committed, and it shall be forgiven him. Chapter 5 and verse 1.
Any questions on Leviticus 4? Real straightforward, right? That was going into basically sin from the head down. So the priests, the people, and ignorant sinning, or sinning out of ignorance, and what you would do to atone for those sins. So what? Chapter 5
Answer.
and 1.
Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1. And if a soul sin, and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness wherewith he had seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or a carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he toucheth the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him.
What can make him? What is the uncleanness of man? What is that talking about? What?
Someone's dead.
Well, I said, well, or if he touches the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled with. That could be blood. That could be a dead body. That could be semen. That could be the man's leprosy. That could be snot running out of man's nose. All those things, they make you unclean.
Right.
You see that? You weren't supposed to be playing around in somebody else's blood, right? The things that, think about it, it's all the things that make us unclean. If I have blood all over me, or if I just was bleeding profusely and it wouldn't stop, I'd be unclean because I'm leaking. I wouldn't be able to come around, right? To prevent any disease from spreading through the air. That seed of copulation, you were unclean to the even when that went from you, or anything that it touched, right? So if somebody else touched it, it makes them unclean too, right?
When he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty. Verse 4. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. Verse 5. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing, and he shall bring
Go back to chapter 5 and verse 1 real fast. I don't want to breeze over this one.
Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And if a soul sin
Mm-hmm.
and hear the voice of swearing,
Mm-hmm.
and is a witness,
And you say what?
witness,
Okay.
whether he had seen or known of it,
Mm-hmm.
if he do not utter it,
So what is this going into? What's this going into? Remember the whole snitches get stitches? Remember the whole don't snitch, don't tell, what was it, don't snitch movement? Well, the Bible is telling us that if you see a soul sin, what?
There was another remake of Snitches Get Stitches.
What was it?
It was Snitches Get Stitches, end up in ditches like.
Snitches get stitches and end up in ditches, right? Right, but see, I'm gonna show you that mentality is wrong. How is that mentality wrong, Quadazat? Well, because don't snitch in the hood is don't snitch. You don't tell on nobody, right? So you know that there's a dude that's a rapist. So he's running around raping all the women in your community. Don't snitch, right? Right?
Right.
But you forgot you got mother and sisters
and
Cousins.
and cousins and a daughter. So you don't snitch, and then they end up being a victim. What you gonna do? What's the first thing a nigga gonna do?
you gonna pimp?
No, he gonna go
He
snitch.
gonna snitch, yeah.
You gonna
snitch.
Yeah, you gonna go right to the cops.
Because it affected him.
Yeah, but it just shows you that street mentality, like that hood mentality is not even a mentality no more. It's not even smart. Because the way the hood mentality is set up, it's set up for you to become a victim.
Yes.
Or victimized. So I ain't gonna snitch because it ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's true.
Right? It ain't got nothing to he ain't robbing me, so I'm good. He ain't raping my kid, I'm good. He ain't killed me, I'm good. Right? But then what happens when it does hit you? Well, the scriptures tell you, watch, read on. If he do not utter it, what?
Then he shall bear his iniquity.
He shall what?
Bear his iniquity.
The person that seen something and didn't say nothing is going to bear that iniquity, whatever that may be that comes to them.
Wow.
But the Bible is telling you that there's going to be some iniquity. Come on, man. If the nigga down the street from my house is killing people, and I know it, I'm telling.
Yeah.
I am telling, because you're not going to bring that to my doorstep. Right? Now, if he down there stealing cable, I don't give a damn about that.
Yeah, that's not hurting.
That's not hurting. That's not a sin for him to steal. You shouldn't steal, because that's a sin, but I don't give a damn about Comcast like that. He can take splice all the cable he want. I ain't tripping. Even if it's affecting my signal, I might just call them and say, hey, listen,
Hey, chill out.
I got a weak signal, I need y'all to come look at it. And if they start tracing that line, they see that he's stealing cable, right?
Right.
I didn't have to directly tell on him like that. But if he got bodies in it, if I'm driving down the street, I live in like a little gated community. So if I'm driving down the block and my neighbor happens to have their garage door open, and I'm driving and I look and I see him hacking his wife to pieces,
Right.
you best believe 911. What is your emergency? This nigga is in the garage hacking his wife to pieces.
Yep.
Why does that affect me? Well, because I live there too.
That's right.
And I don't want to be the next one sleeping, getting hacked in pieces.
Yep.
Right? Because it's a sin to murder. Right? It's a sin to murder. So you can't let those things ride like that. Don't snitch. That don't snitch mentality that Cameron and these dumb rappers
Yeah.
came up with. Don't snitch, you a snitch. Oh, I get it. When you live in certain, like, let me ask you a question. Are you a mobster?
I
No.
don't know what that is.
Okay, are you a gangster? No, right? Are you in the mob? Like, he don't know about the mob,
Yeah.
right? But none of us are in the mob. None of us name is Don Corleone.
Tommy.
Yeah, we don't live in those constructs of life where. No, is anybody in here criminals? No, we're not part of the criminal element. He raised his hand, so he's a criminal. Ezekiel's a criminal. You better check your son out. No, man. Better get your son on point. Right? He raised his hand at the wrong time. Right? Is anybody in here righteous? Oh, see, there it is. He raised his hand. Good. Right? But the point is, we don't live in that criminal mind, in that criminal element. We don't live in that. So we don't live by those rules.
Right.
I'm telling.
God.
I don't give a damn. I'm telling.
Yeah.
If you do, like, oh, you snitched on such and such and they went to jail. Bruh, well, such and such shouldn't have did such and such.
Right.
Now, if you live in a realm, if you're a rapper or mobster and you know those are the rules of that game, right? Don't snitch. Right? Those are the rules when you a mobster.
But you signed up for
You
it.
get pinched, bro, you better keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Right? And you better do that time.
Yep.
And you better not rat nobody out because rats get put down
Yeah.
in that life, right? But we don't live that life.
We don't live that.
The Bible tells us what to do in those situations. Now, it also says meddle not in other men's matters. Right? So are you gonna tell on them? You just gonna drive through the streets looking for people doing things just to tell on them?
Yeah.
Oh, he ain't got no he got his temp tag is out. Like, you know, people I drive behind, they temp tag me out.
Yep.
Am I calling the cops like, hey, I have a non-emergency. I'm driving behind this Honda Accord and the temp tag's been out since October.
Hey, it's me again.
Yeah, like what the hell? Ain't nobody doing that. Right? If I'm driving and a cat's holding up a liquor store, bro, I'm gonna probably just keep driving. I'm not gonna stop to get a description. Hell nah. I'm gonna keep it moving.
God.
Right? But we gotta understand that the mentality of the don't snitch, that can get a lot of people around you hurt.
It's very destructive.
Because when it hits your front door, when that iniquity touches your front door, what you gonna do?
It's true.
Why did anybody say nothing? Why did anybody bring this up?
Yeah, I should have, man, I wish I would have called the cops on him when he killed his wife, because now he killed mine.
Right.
I wish I would have called the cops when I knew he was molesting those kids.
Right.
Because now he's molesting my kids. My kids wouldn't have been the victim. You know, it's that mind. So,
The scripture is so heavy when you think about it. Because not knowing the law doesn't make it void, because you don't know this.
right, well, he that knew if not the master's will, he that knew if not the master's will and didn't prepare himself is beaten with less stripes. So there is a chastisement regardless.
Regardless, either way you go.
Right,
Wow. So
right. It's just like, go to Leviticus 19 and 17. Even this right here tells you need to be telling. You need to be telling that person and telling others. Read it.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 17. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Right?
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him.
Right. You supposed to rebuke your, you supposed to tell him, you off. That's wrong. right? But in this day and age, you already know, man, you go tell somebody something that's wrong, they're gonna do what? Try to shoot you in the face,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
It's true.
you know, so, and nobody dealing with the Bible. There's nobody dealing with the Bible. You see that? So, go ahead. Go back to Leviticus where you left off.
Verse 2, or go back to,
No, go back to what we at 8, 9.
I think it was.
I just jump back to that, man, because you know we got kids in here and they be having that mentality like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna snitch. That's a bad mentality to have. That don't snitch mentality. Because again, when that thing happens to you, you're gonna wish you told somebody the thing that you saw. You know, you see, I see. Check this out. So there was a. I be on Twitter a lot, and there was a video. This white girl was bullying this Muslim girl. I mean, bullying her. She started punching her in the face, punching her in the head, and all the kids is filming and they're laughing. So then Judah's like, Judah walks up like, F that, and starts pounding the hell out this white girl. Starts beating her down. Then what do the teachers do? They come, they grab Judah like she's the problem.
Yep.
Like they didn't see Esau smacking up
Saw that.
Ishmael. You seen it?
No, I didn't see it, but
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they saw it.
Yeah, they definitely saw it. They definitely. Oh, you guys stop! I mean, I'm talking about Judah got on top of her and start grounding, pounding. I was like, damn! She grabbed her. She just boom, dude. She was going in. They pulled her off. But the point is this: you know, it's almost like the same mind. Like, oh, everybody else sat around and did what? I don't see nothing. I don't know what's going on. But what happens when Esau wants to bully you? Because that's what they do. They'll bully. It'll go from one person to the next. It'll just go down the line. And since you didn't say nothing, now you're gonna become a victim. And because you didn't say nothing, now you're gonna become a victim. Judah was like, you ain't gonna victimize me. I might not say nothing, but I'm gonna show you that I'm not with what you're on. She beat that white girl to oblivion. And I felt bad because I'm like, man, she beat this girl up. But this chick was sitting there punching up on the Muslim chick, right in her face. She was just smacking her up, punching her what?
On Friday,
Here we go.
this girl
All the
was
confessions.
at school.
Uh-huh.
This girl was lying that this kid bit her in the eye, so the girl bit the other kid in the eye, and he had a whole black eye.
That happened in school? Well, we have to switch you schools, bro, because every day there's something going on in your school. You're supposed to be a good school, and you violent in there. Bro, I mean, bro, Ishmael and Ham, their kids are animals. He goes to a school with Ishmael and Ham. They don't know how to act. Every day I get an email. They're fighting, somebody pushed them, somebody broke his glasses the other day, glasses case. They try to stab him with pencils, scissors, bruh. Every day I get an email. I show you every single day. The teacher called me yesterday. They calling me. Somebody got mad and broke his glasses case. They got mad and broke it. I'm like, what kind of? She's like ripped it in half. I'm like, what kind of kids are these?
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway,
Wow.
but that's why you gotta, when you see certain things, you do gotta tell, because those people are gonna come and try to affect you, especially if they're in your close parameters. So anyway, go ahead. I mean, come on, man. A nigga selling drugs in your hood, you ain't gonna say nothing? You just gonna let them sell drugs, and then your kids start getting older, they walk on the block. What's up, little man? What you got going on? Chilling. The next thing you know, your son's a drug dealer. All because you let the peddler sit on your block? Or your son or daughter's getting high, all because you let the peddler sit on your block? I mean, you gotta think about it. Where we at?
Leviticus chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 6. He shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord for his sin, which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a laborer or a kid of the goats, for his sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass, which he had committed, 2 turtle doves, or 2 pigeons, unto the Lord. one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, or wring off his head from his neck. He shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner. And the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial of it, and burn it on the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as touching his sin, that he had sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnants shall be the priest as a meat offering. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, if a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance in the holy thing of the Lord, then he shall bring for his trespass unto the Lord a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with thy estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for the trespass offering. And he shall make an amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him.
Leviticus.
Where you at?
He just finished 16.
Right. Okay. Go ahead.
Leviticus.
You might as well just read it down and then go to Samuel.
Leviticus chapter 5, verse 17. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Most High, though he wist it not, yet is he guilty and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, without estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred and wist it not. And it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He has certainly trespassed against the Most High. We're going to go to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1.
See that? So you had trespass offering, you had sin offering,
Burnt offering.
burnt offering,
Meat offering.
meat offering. There's still, we had a peace offering. There's still the drink offering, wave offering, heave offering. Oh, we had the burnt offering also. So there's still drink, wave, heave. I think that's it that we haven't read about yet. So where are we going?
We're going to 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1.
So that's it for Leviticus. Any questions? Remember, keep this chapter in mind for when we get into Numbers 15. Because this ignorant sin and presumptuous sin is where the Most High instituted fringes.
Yeah.
And said, okay, since y'all are going to be ignorant and forgetful, here's these fringes to remind y'all. Now, question. I want to see. Who got to be reminded to not commit adultery right now? Like if you didn't have fringes on, would you do it? Would you forget?
No, I wouldn't forget.
Right? Would you forget to not eat pork if you didn't have fringes on? I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on. The law is for the lawless. I'm going to let y'all sit on that real quick. Am I saying not to wear fringes? No. But the law is for the lawless. And then let's move on. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. The law's for the lawless. Right? The law's for the lawless, man. Right? So go to Samuel.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, the Most High sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore, hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Most High. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I will remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way.
Right, because this is talking about when we came out of Egypt. What happened? Well, we tried to pass by, and they were like, nope. Moab, Ammon, nope. Right, they laid wait. Go ahead.
When he came up from Egypt,
Right.
now go and smite Amalek.
Do what?
Smite Amalek.
Do what?
Smite Amalek.
This is commandment. He's telling Saul, right, through Samuel, to go destroy Amalek, the Amalekites. Who are the Amalekites, class? It's Esau, right? Esau, it would be the grandson of Esau.
Yep.
Right? The descendants of Esau. He said, go destroy them off the face of the earth. Now, he told them to smite them, but they, in our land, taking our customs, our tradition. So obviously somebody messed up. Somebody fumbled the bag, right? Somebody fumbled somebody fumbled the Amalekites. Right? Somebody fumbled the Amalekite commandment. Go smite them. Somebody fumbled that. Obviously, because a few thousand years later, we here trying to beg for our stuff back from them same people. So somebody fumbled. Let's figure it out. Read.
And utterly destroy all that they
A
have.
little bit destroyed.
All that they have.
Some of destroyed.
All that they have.
Read.
And spare them not.
Right?
But slay both man and woman.
Right?
Infant.
Woo!
And suckling.
This is the Lord I love. He said, kill infants. Get them out of here. You're not going to propagate that nationality. You're not going to propagate that lineage.
Off the face of the earth.
Go ahead.
Ox and sheep.
Right?
Camel and ass.
You ain't going to take their camels because they're worthless. They probably laying with them.
Yeah, they're animals.
Their animals are foul. You ain't even going to touch them. Go ahead.
And Saul gathered the people together.
Right?
And numbered them in Telim. 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah.
Now, think about this. 210,000 men Saul had. Now, when you go into Saul, I remember I did this class about Saul, and I was going into the Josephus, and I was going in, and it was showing that Saul's mentality was that the type of men that he surrounded himself with were big men, they were good-looking men, they were killers. They really didn't deal with taking orders and being righteous, but it was more their look and their stature. He chose men according to the way he was chosen.
Right.
Remember, Saul was chosen why? Not because he was wise and had wisdom. He was chosen because he was the biggest amongst all the inhabitants of the people. He's a big-ass Benjamite. Right? He said he stood shoulders above the people. Right? When you read about Saul and what he was chosen for, it didn't say like, oh, he was a man after the Most High's heart, or he was a friend of the Lord, or he was the most meekest man, right? Like all those attributes.
Yeah, serve the Lord all his days.
Yeah, no. Nigga, when he was chosen, he was by the stuff. He got found by the stuff. When it was time for him to be anointed king, he was more concerned with the riches.
Yeah.
The stuff that he was going to get. It said he was by the stuff. That's where his mind was at when it was time to be anointed. I'm going to be by the damn stuff. Whatever stuff that is, right? Carnal mind. So the way he chose men. So you got 210,000 men that were not chosen for being virtuous, not chosen to be, they weren't chosen because, they followed the laws and kept the commandment. They were chosen because Saul chose them off of their stature, off of their aggressiveness, off of their look. Go ahead.
And Saul came to a city of Amalek,
Right.
and lay wait in the valley. And Saul said, go into the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them.
Right.
For you showed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt.
Right.
So the Canaanites departed from among them.
Right. So Saul gave these people a pass because they gave us a pass when we was coming up from Egypt. They gave us, they looked out for us. So Saul was like, you know what? They're not part of the command. They're not on the regiment. They're not on the resume to go wipe out. You know what? Y'all get away from the Amalekites. Because when we fall on them, we fall on everything.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the Canaanites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Himalah until thou comest to Shur, that is, over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
Right.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Right.
But Saul and the people spared Agag.
Right. Go ahead.
And the best of the sheep.
Right. Now check this out. I'm going to go there real quick so y'all think I'm making this up. I'm going to go to Josephus, right? Book 6, chapter 6, section 6. Damn. 666. Right? Josephus, we go here from time to time. It's just a book of reference, just a history book. Bro, you got to be careful. Move your desk over because you kicked the camera. Move your desk over. You got to be more aware of what you're doing. You just kicked the camera. Is it off? Right? So Josephus. Talking about Saul, it says go to 666. Woo! Right? Book 6, chapter 6, section 6. Chapter 6, section 6. Check this out. Saul had also a great many chariots and horsemen, and against whomsoever he made war, he returned conqueror, and advanced the affairs of the Hebrews to a great degree of success and prosperity. And he made them superior to other nations. And he made such of the young men as were remarkable for tallness and comeliness, guards of his body. So he picked the tall, good-looking brothers to roll with him. Tall, dark, and handsome cats. The 6-pack, 6 foot tall, 6-figure income. Nah, right? So, check this out. Where you at? It said he saved Agag, right? Right? Now check this out. I'm gonna go down to section chapter 7, book 6, chapter 7, section 2. I'm gonna go down. It says he also took Agag, the enemy's king, captive, the beauty and tallness of whose body he admired so much that he thought him worthy of preservation. Now, it sounds a little homosexual, but he wasn't. It wasn't about sexuality. It said beauty and tall. Remember, that's why I read the first part. He chose men to be around him off of their tallness and good look. That's what he was chosen for. His height, and he said he was comely. He was a comely man. He was a good-looking man, right? But there was no virtue that Saul was chosen for. That's where it was time to display virtue, bro. What happened? Yeah, move it a little bit up. Yeah, when it was time to display virtue, he didn't do it.
Right.
Why am I going to this? I want to show you what type of men Saul surrounded himself with, and when he tried to cast that blame on them. He just hit it a little bit.
No, but it's like.
Oh, yeah, because. Yeah. Here. Man. Here. You want that? You got it?
It's good.
Oh. Right? So, he saved Agag because he's looking at this dude. He's like, man, this dude's tall. He's good. He can roll with me.
Right.
He can be part of the guard.
I'm making, yeah.
Most High said, nah, bro. So watch. Read on. Where you at?
Verse, we are at 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 9. But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. But everything that was vile and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
Yeah, but everything was vile in the eyes of the Lord.
Right.
Agag the king, all the chief and fatlings, and all the oxen, it was all vile to the Most High.
God.
Most High wanted it all wiped out. But see, the Most High don't look at things the way men look at things.
Right.
Right? We look at things for the outward. The Most High, again, he looks at things for the spirit. The spirit of those people, the Amalekites, he knew that if they weren't wiped out, they were going to be a snare to us. And like I said, somebody fumbled the bag. Somebody fumbled. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 10. Then came the word of the Most High to Samuel, saying,
Right?
It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king.
Ooh.
For he is turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Most High all night.
Right?
And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul, come to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and gone down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said to him, Blessed be thou of the Lord. I have performed the commandment of the Lord. And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears?
See, why are we going here? Well, it goes right with what we read in Leviticus. If a ruler sins, what was he supposed to do? Right? Offer his offering, move on. This knucklehead dummy, Saul, what does he do? I did the commandment. See? I did it. I wiped them out. Samuel was like, wait a minute. Then why do I hear sheep? Why do I still hear sheep crying out? Go ahead.
And the lowing of the ox, which I hear.
Right?
And Saul said, They have brought them from the Amalekites.
They what?
They have brought them from the Amalekites.
They who? Negro, the men that you chose for their beauty and tallness. Not for virtue. Not for the love of the Most High. The niggas that you chose based off of your characteristics. They did it. Bruh.
Ecclesiastes 10:2.
As a leader of the people, so is his officers.
Yeah.
Yep. You can write that down, Ecclesiastes 10:2. As the leader of the people is, so is the officers. As the leader is, so is the inhabitants of the city. Go ahead.
For the people spared the best of the sheep and of the oxen.
But where were you, King? King Saul? Oh, so you ain't got no control of the people. Well, you know what? He didn't. You know why he had no control of the people? Because he picked rebellious people.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to be controlled. So the type of people that he picked were uncontrollable. So it was like a trickle effect.
Con.
Sisters, ribs, listening. Sisters, in TV land, right? Think about it. When you rebellious, and then when you expect your kids to fall in line, how the hell is that going to happen? They're going to be just like you. It's a trickle-down effect, right? When you disannul, when you don't listen, when you're anti, and then all of a sudden my kids better listen to me, and then they don't. What you think is happening? They're learning off of your example. Right? This is a good story to show that. Shh. They learn off your example, man. And when they're surrounded with you, they pick up off your example. So you can't expect one thing, or you can't do one thing and expect a whole nother. It doesn't make sense. You can't expect your kids to be obedient to you, but you're not obedient to your husband. Brothers can't expect that their wife and kids to be obedient to them, but they're not obedient to the Most High. See, I'm going to take it one step up. Always go up the ladder. Right? But man, she's wicked. Well, wait a minute. What you been showing her? A wicked woman is given to the portion of a wicked man.
Yep.
Or the portion of a wicked woman is given to a wicked man. Right? Have thou a wife after thy own mind, forsake her not. Right? But What mind are you in? What mind are you in? $2 million. She's wicked. She's off.
I'm done with her.
I'm done. I'm getting me a new one. Well, what are you doing?
You know.
What are you showing her?
Evil lesson.
Yeah, you're giving her evil lessons, right? And then it trickles down.
So true.
It's a trickle down effect, domino effect. We're seeing it here. Watch, read on. Go ahead.
To sacrifice unto the Most High thy power, and the rest we have utterly destroyed. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Most High hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thy own sight,
When you were no one, go ahead.
was thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Most High anointed thee king over Israel. And the Most High sent thee on a journey, and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Most High? And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Most High.
Like, this nigga is just oblivious. It sounds like him. It sounds like an 8-year-old. Like an 8-year-old child trying to deny their lies.
You know what, brothers? Like, con. Yeah, I did that.
Right, but you didn't do that. Or I didn't do that, but you did do that. I watched you. But no, I didn't. But I looked at you do it. But no, I didn't. No, I didn't write on the wall, but it's your name. But I didn't write it. But it's your name spelled out the way you write things. Look, let me take how you write and then put it next to the wall. But no, but I didn't do that.
I do what you want.
It's like, what? That's Saul. Go ahead.
And have gone the way which the Most High sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people took of the spoil.
Not me, the people. Mm-hmm.
Sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed.
So either the people were super rebellious and didn't have no type of fear for Saul, or Saul didn't lay down his instructions the right way. Either way, there was a dereliction of duty. Either way, go ahead.
To sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Have the Most High as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Most High. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice.
Yep. Just follow. Just do what you got to do. And guess what you don't got to go do? You ain't got to go drain blood out of a bullock, pour it under an altar, walk up a 6-foot altar, put a head, put a calf, put a liver, put a kidney. You ain't got to do all that if you just listen. Go ahead.
And to hearken then the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as the iniquity and idolatry.
Yeah, because you literally are solidified in your own mind. You prop your own self up as a god. That you're going to follow your own way. There's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ways there are of death. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected the word of the Most High, he hath also rejected thee from being king.
So from this day, this is when Saul was done.
It was over.
And he wasn't really king that long. I think it was 3 years.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long. He forfeited his crown in 3 years, man. Go ahead.
And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Most High, and thy words, because I feared the people.
What?
I feared the people.
Well, you picked the wrong men to be around. You picked the wrong men to be in your army. You didn't pick men based off virtue. You picked men based off of covetousness and how well they killed. And when that 210,000 men decide that, wait a minute, the king's word it ain't worth nothing, and they gonna kill you, you gonna have some fear. Go ahead.
And obeyed their voice. Now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Most High.
Ooh.
And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Most High, and the Most High have rejected thee from being king over Israel. And as Samuel turned about to go away, he laid a hold upon the skirts of his mantle, and it rent. And Samuel said unto him, The Most High have rent the kingdom of Israel from thee this day, and have given it to a neighbor of thine, that is better than thou. And also the strength of Israel will not lie nor repent, for he is not a man that he should repent.
Yeah, he ain't gonna change this one. He's gonna keep it. He's going through with that. You're done.
Verse 30. Then he said, I have sinned, yet honor me now, I pray thee, before the elders of my people and before Israel, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Most High thy power.
You know what's cool about this? Was Saul acknowledging his sin because he knew he was wrong? No, he was doing it. Remember, it said out of necessity of what he was going to get. He was acknowledging his sin because he wanted something from that acknowledgement.
Right.
You know what? You're right. I sinned. Now go ahead and bless me.
Yeah, bless me. Stay with
No,
me.
you know what? You're right. I sinned. Now let's go talk to the Lord so I can figure out my next plan. He wasn't acknowledging his sin because he didn't do what David did. Remember, David convicted his own self.
Yeah.
When Nathan came to David and said there was a man that took another man's sheep, right? What should happen to that man? He said, surely that man shall be put to death. And Nathan was like, you're that man. And he thought about it. He was like, ooh, the sheep was Bathsheba and I was that man. Damn. Ugh. Okay, I've sinned. You know what? Damn. My bad.
That was good.
You know what I'm saying? He repented. But this monkey, Saul, nah, he wasn't on that.
Yeah, he was like, he really wanted to keep up appearances.
So he keep up appearances, and also he was doing it because he wanted something from Samuel.
Yeah.
He was doing it because he wanted something from the Most High. Remember when we read, watch this real fast. Let's just go back here. It's in the first thing that we read, Leviticus chapter 1. Check this out. Leviticus 1 and 3. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle. And it shall be accepted for him to make an atonement for him. I kind of paraphrase the two verses, 3 and 4. It shall be accepted. Why did Saul continue to get rejected after this point? Because his mind wasn't willing. He wasn't doing it out of a willing mind. He was doing it out of necessity.
Wow.
I need something from the Lord, so I got to repent. No. Wrong. He wasn't in the mind of the Most High, first and foremost, like we read in Philemon 1 and 14.
Right.
He said, I would do nothing without thy mind. Right. Not as if it was of a necessity of blessing, but willingly. Saul was trying to continue to get blessed. So he wasn't willing. It's crazy. Because you read it, he's like, well, he repented. Did he?
Nope.
Why did he keep getting rejected? Because he wasn't really willing. He didn't really do it out of a willing mind. He was constrained in a way of, man, let me just confess this so that the Lord can keep riding with me. So that Samuel can keep riding. But Samuel's like, nigga, I ain't going nowhere with you. We're done here. Right? Right. Go ahead, read on.
Verse 31. So Samuel turned again after Saul, and Saul worshipped the Most High. Then said Samuel, Bring ye hither to me Agag, the king of the Amalekites. And Agag came unto him delicately.
Oh, humble, right? Now though he come crouching.
Yeah.
Watch. Though he come crouching with his face to the earth, believe him not. Right? Where is it? That's in Ecclesiastes, right? Ecclesiastes. Where is that at?
Guys.
We need that. We need that. You know why? There it is. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 11.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 11.
Right. Oh, we should already know what this is about. Read verse 10.
Never trust thine enemy.
Never what?
Trust thine enemy.
Never do what?
Trust thine enemy.
Yeah, Saul was like, man, we can't trust this. We can't trust these fools.
Samuel.
Or Samuel, excuse me. Go ahead.
For like as iron rusted.
Or like what?
Iron rusted.
Go ahead.
So is his wickedness.
Read on.
Though he humble himself.
Though he said he came delicately and crouching. Though he humbled himself, read.
And go crouching.
Read.
Yet take good heed.
Go ahead.
And beware of him.
Read.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
Yeah, man. It's just like Esau. It's just like the Amalekites today, man, and the Agagites today. What are they on? They'll feed you some good, but they got evil waiting right around the corner. You know, you look at I look at all these little court cases that they've done. The Chauvin with the George Floyd, right? They convicted him. They convicted the Arbery, right? They convicted them. To me, that was them showing face. Because what happened with Tiana Taylor? They didn't even bring that to court. They're like, well, we already gave you your convictions.
Wow.
We already appeased the masses. What can y'all really riot over? We convicted 2 out of the 3. They didn't even bring Tiana Taylor's. They didn't even bring him to court for her murder. They brought him to court for like unlawful discharge of a weapon. Something weird. He killed that girl in cold blood.
Yes, he did.
And they didn't even bring him. He didn't even go to court trial for that at all. He didn't even see a courtroom for that. Oh well, because we gave you the George Floyd verdict. Because we gave you the Arbery verdict. Y'all should be good. Look, we put him in jail for life. Though they come crouching, though they come humbly. Oh, we giving y'all food stamps. We giving y'all this, and we giving y'all that, and we look $30 million for crack pipes, right? So we here for y'all, man. But it's crack pipes. It's crack kits for you to smoke crack clean. For you to smoke crack and not die. How about stop putting crack in the community?
That's it.
Well,
How about stop putting crack in my community so I won't need a crack pipe?
Right.
You won't have to spend 30 billion, whatever the hell it is, on crack hits. That's insanity to me.
Yep.
That yet they literally spending money on a crack kit on how to get high and not die. That's white folks, man. That's white people.
They know what they're doing.
They know exactly what they're doing. That's why he said, don't you never trust our enemy.
that's right.
They'll come crouching, they come with the handshake, right? Hand out, but they got the knife behind them ready to stab you. As soon as they get that hand, boom, they ready to get you, right? Think about it. When you fast forward and we in the book of Esther, Haman, he was what? He was an Agagite, which was what?
Esau.
He's a damn Edomite. Listen, when you look up the Agite, right? Or what was the king? Agag?
Yeah.
Agag is just a title, like Nebuchadnezzar, like president,
Yep.
like Ross, right? Like those titles. That's all Agag was. That wasn't his name.
Yeah, there's a Xerxes, something like
That wasn't his name. So Haman was an Agagite, right? Which was the same people that Agag was from, which were the Amalekites. Look at what Haman did in the time of Esther, how he tried to get us all wiped out.
Come on, man.
And the nigga was lying the whole time,
that.
right? Why? Because one man didn't want to bow to him. He went to the king and was like, they all wicked and rebellious. They won't bow to nobody. He was right.
Yeah.
But the way he puffed it up and blew it up and exacerbated the situation, he almost got us all wiped out through the whole damn nation, through all these lands. 100 and something provinces, we almost got wiped out because of one Edomite.
Look at that.
One Edomite almost got us all killed. It took one righteous sister to save us.
That's true.
Right? One righteous sister with integrity to save the nation at that time. We got to see. Never trust our enemy. Y'all talking about going to fight for Ukraine? I just seen it. Yeah, Detroit man wants to go to fight in Ukraine. Negro, please. They'll shoot you right in the back talking about you got killed. And they want shooting you from there, shoot you in the back, friendly fire.
Yeah, friendly fire.
Shoot you in your back. Shoot you right in the back. They do it to the black police officers all the time. They got movies on it all the time about corrupt white police killing the black guy because he was going to snitch tell because he wasn't down for the cause because it's a brotherhood. Right? They don't want you in their brotherhood. You can't trust them. Every story I see with white people doing good things to black people, my antennas go, bing! What the hell's going on up in here? There was a story. You know what's wild? Even when you think about all the Ukrainians that's leaving Ukraine and going into Poland and going over here, and they're going to Poland, the Maldives, they're going into Belarus, they're going into Latvia, they're going into Hungary, they're going into Romania, right? And I'm like, okay, so white people helping white people, right? Cool. Then I think about, like, you got people that's literally going to the borders and picking up Ukrainians that they don't even know. Like, yeah, come live at my house. And I'm like, okay, it's a little weird. Right? You niggas is just gonna pick up random ass people and put them in your house. They can stay as long as they want. We know white folks are evil. And you wonder why, like, kidnappings, rape, murder, child molestation, how it keeps going. It's situations like this, like, oh, I'll take your children, and people are in desperate need for these children to go somewhere. So what do? They'll usher them off, and it'd be a pedophile or a child rapist. And I'm like, well, never trust your enemy.
Damn, I never thought of it like that.
Bro, there's one story that was on the news, because they got this whole thing about how, what they say, 6 million people died from COVID, and they're talking about all the children that are left without parents. So they did this little wholesome story on these black kids. They said the majority is obviously minority kids. And they did this wholesome little story of this black kids. Their mama died. It's the black girl, she's 22. The son, he's 20. Then they got the younger daughter, she's like maybe 15. And then the youngest daughter is like 11 or 12. So they did this, the black girl, she's taking care of all of them. The brother, he pitches in his money to help. But then here comes this Captain Save a Whole White Family. Right? Like, oh yeah, well, they needed insurance, and they needed this, and they needed that, and they needed So we just started looking into it from them. It happened to be like some school teacher from this. I'm like, what the hell these white people want with these black kids?
Yeah.
What do they want? Now you can't trust them. You can't trust them. I guarantee you. You go into that story in 10 years, and there's gonna be something weird going on. With the damn husband, man. And them kids. There's gonna be something weird going on with them kids and those people. It's gonna be something weird that we know, like that don't sound right.
It's not like the movies.
Yeah, that don't look right.
Come to the hood and save the hood.
No. Right? You can never trust them because, like it says, it says their wickedness is like rust. Why is that so significant? Why is that so significant? Well, did y'all know that even in your body, the metals in your body rust? Think about that. Y'all are getting it. You can't stop rust from happening. They're like the metals that rust, and you can't prevent it no matter what. It just takes time. Rust don't just happen with, oh, it's been sitting in a pool of water all day. Rust takes time and a little bit of moisture. Time and that little bit of wickedness that's in them, it'll start to propagate, it'll start to expand, and you can't stop rust. You gotta cut it out. As iron rusteth, so is their wickedness. The iron in your blood rusts, if you didn't know that. I don't think y'all know that. Look it up. The iron in your body rusts. That means that iron is made to rust. So think about it. Their wickedness is made to come out. It just takes time. Yes, it just takes time. That's what the Bible is telling you. That's why you can't trust them. Because what will they do? They can outlast you if you ain't looking. Now they come crouching and they're humble. You sitting back like, oh yeah, no, this is a good white boy. This is my homeboy. This is my brother.
My bro.
Right? It's my brother. Don't fall asleep around that white boy getting drunk.
All those fraternities.
You wake up and all different parts of your body be hurting. I don't know. How that hurt? Why is that hurting? Why are they drawing things on my face and all that weird stuff white boys love to do?
They do.
You can't trust them, man. sleep with your woman. I see one. The dude was like, yeah, a white couple was married for 30 years, and she thought she had a great husband. He never cheated. The whole time he was sleeping with the cat.
Damn.
Like,
What?
damn, that's crazy. Cause that's what white folks be on. They'll live this upstanding. What is he saying? They'll live this upstanding life, right? They look like wholesome Christian Americans, wholesome, baking cookies. Dad is out cutting the lawn. Front yard looks good, right? House is up to par. He drives a Benz. He drives a minivan. They got the sports car in the garage for those weekend extravaganzas. Kids are in order, and the whole time he got a damn slaughterhouse in the basement.
Yes.
That's white people. Ain't that always the scary movies?
That's true. That's true.
Why do they make the best spies? Because they can assimilate a whole different character.
Yeah.
He could be a spy, espionage, and guess what? He's just a school teacher. He's just a this. He's just a that. He have a whole family, wife and kids, spying. Why do they make the best spies? They can assimilate into any situation.
Damn.
They can act, and they're the best liars. They can lie their way in and out of everything. You can't trust it.
Nope.
They'll come crouching, humble, begging, this, that. Like Agag, he came. Oh, you know what? Delicately.
My Lord.
Yes, me Lord. Right? What did Saul do? Samuel, read.
And Agag said, surely the bitterness of death is past.
Yeah, like, man, look, y'all already killed him, man. We good, right?
Yeah, you killed my uncle.
Surely, y'all still ain't bitter. Surely the Lord ain't bitter no more. I am the Lord, I change not.
Right? It says
I am the Lord, I will not repent on my word. Read.
And Samuel said, as thy sword hath made women childless,
Read.
so shall thy mother be childless among women.
Woo. Read on.
And Samuel hewed Agag in pieces.
Yeah. We ain't gonna let you sit around and rust the place up. We're gonna cut that rust out. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta know how far you can throw the wicked. I can trust you only as far as I can throw you. Right. You gotta know how far you can go. And really, you don't want to go too far with these people, man. Because they will get you caught up. They will get you entangled in their nonsense. Then they'll blame it on you. Go ahead.
Before the Lord in Gilgal. Then Samuel went to Ramah, and Saul went up to his house to Gibeah of Saul.
Now we're going to go to Matthew.
And Samuel didn't mess with Saul for the rest of his days. He cut him off. It tells you. And Samuel came no more to Saul. So what happened? So, you know what that pushed in Saul's mind even more? To be less dependent on Samuel. Remember, Samuel was the intermediate between him and the Most High. Well, Samuel ain't messing with me, so now I get to intervene for myself. I get to intermeddle for myself. Remember, it said you David would consult the ephod?
Yes.
Right.
Saul didn't do that. He didn't do that. He consulted himself. God. Where we at?
We are going to Matthew chapter 5, verse 23.
Any questions on that so far?
I got one.
What?
So I'm like, nowadays, they're the Jewish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep. You got Amalek over there. They're remember, you got a few different type of Jews. You got Ashkenaz, which that's not Esau, because you can't be Ashkenaz and be Esau. Ashkenaz is Japhet, right? And then you got Amalek, or the Amalekites, which I believe that's Ukraine, right? Those are the Ukrainians, if I'm not mistaken. I might have misspoke on that one. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I think they're the Ukrainians. Or that Ukrainian land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not those people, because and it's gonna go into the question that the brother asked. I might as well hit it now. But remember, the brother asked a question. Watch this. I might as well talk about it since I'm talking about it. Yeah, go ahead. brother asked, Shalom, I have a question outside of the lesson. Is Esau Magog or God? And if so, where in the scriptures can I find that? Well, Esau is not Magog or God. Esau, Gog and Magog is from Japhet. That's Japhet. Right? So when you go into Genesis, real quick, go to Genesis, I want to say 10. Right, Genesis 10 and verse 2.
Genesis chapter 10, verse 2.
Right,
The sons of Japhet,
right,
Gomer,
right,
and Magog,
and Magog,
and
right,
Magog,
right, go ahead,
and Madia,
right,
and Javan,
right,
and Tubal,
right,
and Message,
right,
and Tyrus,
right,
and the sons of Gomer.
right. So, Gog, Magog is the people, Gog is the land. Right, so when you go to Ezekiel 38, you read that. Now, think about it. Well, if they're not white people, well, who are the people there now? That's probably what y'all are asking. Like, wait a minute, they ain't white people there? Or that's Japhet over there? No, that's not Japhet. See, what Esau was good at doing, it goes into it. Never trust your enemy. What Esau was good at doing was fighting war with people and taking over their identities. Right? Look at it like this. Look at it like this. If you go from the beginning of Jacob and Esau, we are the polar opposites. We're the polar opposites. What does that mean? That when you have polar opposites, you're going to have similarities. That doesn't make sense, right? But it does. I'm going to show y'all. Esau on the left hand, Jacob on the right hand. We're polar opposites, but we still are hand in hand, right? So that makes something the same. They do things and accomplish things evil. We do the same thing out of curses and the way the Most High set it up. So, for instance, Esau is in every nation. Did y'all know that?
Yep, gone.
But so is Israel.
Gone.
Right. Esau went and fought war and took over every nation. We got dispersed into every nation. That's polar opposite, but still similarities.
Yeah.
So the similarity is the same, where the Most High dispersed us into the four corners of the earth. But Esau went and took over the four corners of the earth. They've been ruling from all the four corners. There's Esau in China. There's Esau in Russia. There's Esau in South America. There's Esau in America. There's Esau in the whole earth. They're in the whole earth. And so they would be vagabonds in the earth. So you said, where is it in the scriptures that they're Esau? Well, Gog and Magog is not Esau. But the people that are in that land are not the real people that belong in that land. They were wiped out of the land. You see that? They were wiped out of that land. So all the little Romanians and Russians, and all you gotta do is look at them. Look at their faces. Look at them, and you're like, oh wait, that's a pure Edomite right there. But then if you look at some of them, like go down to Kazakhstan, go down to Uzbekistan, go down into Romania, and you look at them and you're like, that's not a pure blood Edomite. There's no way. There's no way you can see the inbreeding. You can see that there was something else mixed in. You see that? But when you go to, bro, all you gotta do is look at some of them Russians. Look at some of these Polish people. Damn, you talk about purest of the Edomites. They are the purity of Esau, right? They are the purest of pure. Now, I don't feel bad for what they're going through because they deserve it.
Gone.
They deserve it. But, you know, the people have moved. The lands have not moved. So if you understand about, I wish I had a map. But if you understand about when the boat, Noah's Ark, landed in Turkey, and when the three men dispersed, Shem, Ham, and Japhet. Japhet went into Turkey, but they also went a little bit east, a little bit west, but they went more east, they went up into Russia, they went up into China, they went up into those areas, and Japhet had that land. Shem had what? Well, we went back south to our original land. We went right back to Israel. We went right back to the Red Sea. We went right back into that Fertile Crescent, right? And what did Japheth do? Some of them followed and kicked it. Some Ham came and kicked it also. And then Ham went where? They went south also. They crossed down the Mediterranean and went right back into Africa. And they Morocco, Egypt, right? So you got Ham, Shem, Japheth. If you know about this land, that's Eurasia, right? Europe and Asia. But guess what? Yeah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth in Europe and Asia. That's why the first Greeks, who were they? Black folk.
Yeah.
Right? The first Romans, the first this, the first that. They were black people, right? But you just got to understand the migration of people. Esau wasn't around yet. Esau wasn't around yet. When Japheth, Ham, Shem, Esau wasn't there. Remember, this is Genesis 10. Esau didn't come till Genesis 25. And then what did Esau start to do? Well, when you have the blessing of the sword, when that is your blessing, when that is your, listen, when they say this is my God-given right,
Yes.
that is their God-given right.
Yes, it is.
To swing that sword, man, to bust that gun. And guess what? They hand it down to their children, to their sons. They call it a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Where what? Oh, son, whoop, got a little armpit here. It's time, boy. Get that rifle off my shelf. And they go out with the rifle, you're going to shoot that buck, right? And they make him hunt down a deer. Bam! And if he get his first kill, he's in the family. If he miss, he going to be out in them woods for days until he get a kill. Right? That's how Esau be rolling.
Exactly.
So their blessing was the sword. When you have that as your blessing, and not think about it as a blessing, like, yo, I'm gifted. The most like God gave me a gift. Like you heard cats on the back, they're like, man, God, this is just a gift from God. I don't even gotta work for it. And you like, damn, this dude is talented. Ain't Esau talented with his weapon, with his sword?
Man.
I mean,
They
them
make
surface
some
to
great
air
stuff.
missiles. They got something called a Patriot. They put them in Poland. The Patriot missiles that shoot down surface to air missiles. They got guns that could bend the corner. X-ray guns. They got bombs this big.
They got
Bunker busters that'll fall they'll fall from 10,000 feet in the sky, rip through the ground, boop, 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 and then they won't detonate till they hit a certain depth. Think about that. Bunker busters. They got bombs they got targeting systems. All this is the sword. They're targeting systems. They're satellite systems. This is all part of it. Where they can target you from across the damn globe. They showed it how the Ukrainians was bombing the Russians from UAVs. 1 minute you see the convoy, next minute cloud of dust. And they're like, yeah! Yeah! Right? Because that's their blessing.
Yeah.
So think about it. If that's my blessing and I go from country to country, am I not going to take over?
Yes, you
We
will.
will.
Am I not going to take you over when you fighting with damn sticks? You got the jawbone of an ass. And I got automatic weapons, nigga, I'm winning.
Every time.
Automatic weapons are gonna take out the jawbone of an ass every time. You see that? When you fight with bamboo sticks, right? You start fighting with darts and a little bit of damn tranquilizer powder. And I can walk up and street sweep you. And you can only spit so many times. You gotta catch your breath to fight. Nah.
That's
You're
how
gonna
white man-
lose.
That's how white man destroyed the Native Americans with a Gatling gun.
Yeah, with the Gatling guns. Yeah, when they came with that, but think about it, when they came with gunpowder, that changed the game.
Yeah.
Then they came, because remember they had the one-shot musket. Then they had the gun, boom.
Yep.
Then when they came with the I can shoot more than one shot without reloading,
Yep.
Yeah. It was
bruh, it was a wrap.
It was a wrap.
They won whoever had that gun won every war.
Yeah.
Didn't matter how many people, because I could shoot more times than you.
Yeah.
Then when they come with remember the revolver, and you gotta open it and shake it out, and all the bullets. But then when they came with the revolver clip that you can put 5 rounds into one, bam, boo, 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 boo. It's like, oh snap. Then they came with the clip, 16 in the clip,
Yep.
1 in the head.
Yep.
Oh, that was over.
It was done.
It was over. It was over for the revolver. See, the revolver is a criminal's gun because you don't drop no shells. The shells stay inside the revolver. You got to actually take them out,
Yup.
right? You don't leave nothing behind. They're automatic. Boom, shells flying everywhere, right? That's why a lot of cats still use them 38s, them 38 revolvers,
I just use like a.
because them shells stay inside of the revolver part. But this is Esau's blessing. The sword, the modern day gun. The sword, the modern day gun ain't just the damn guns. They got missile silos that when it opens up out of a riverbed, you're like, wait a minute, that was there? And all the water falls into the silo. And that thing opens up and a missile comes out of that silo, and you would never ever have thought in a million years that was there. Don't you know, even in Ukraine, they got underground bunkers that a lot of people don't know about in Ukraine. Out in the east, out in the west, they got underground silos and bunkers where they can hide out. Wouldn't be surprised if Zelensky was there now. That you're like, wait a minute, that's there? I didn't go to Colorado, right? Go to Colorado, NORAD, and the whole side of the damn mountain opens up, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought that was just decoration. Thought that's how the trees grew. Nah, they'll have a whole. Go to Colorado Springs and it's like the Air Force base that's there. It just looks like mountains. But when they're ready, they open that thing up and they'll shoot nuclear weapons out of the damn mountains. Come on, who's thinking like that?
It's true.
Missile silos coming out of the riverbeds, coming out of mountains, coming out the desert. Right? So they're blessed in that way. All they keep doing is upping the ante.
Yeah.
Every year. This nigga came with the Satan 1 missile, then he got the Satan 2. They said that drops, it'll wipe out all of America. Have y'all seen it? It's the size of a tanker. One missile the size of an 18-wheeler. I'm like, man, go ahead and just do it. Damn.
Right?
Send that one. Send that one. Right? Send that one over. Don't do the little old fake no warrant. Send the Satan 2 to Satan. Right? So what am I trying to say? Well, the people migrate and they change. The land stays the same.
Yeah.
So originally, God was Japheth's land. So Russia, right? What you know as Russia, that was Japheth's land. Russia, Ukraine, Poland, all that land that they fighting for, that was all Russia. Remember, Esau came up from Russia, the Caucasus Mountains, the Black and Caspian Sea, which it's lower Russia, Georgia. Georgia, Russia is underneath that major part of Russia. You got Russia, and you got Georgia, Russia right here, and the Black Caspian Sea, and the Caucasus Mountains. That's where Esau came up out of after a while. And what did they start to do? Well, they start to use their blessing. They start to use their blessing, and if I can sit with you long enough and learn how you are, get my daughters to marry your people, and if we happen to go to war and I win, well, guess what? I've already won because I'm taking over.
Yep.
Just through war, through genocide, through marriage.
Yeah.
Right? That's what Esau is good at. So remember, Esau is in every part of this world. Every part of this world is inhabited by Esau. But guess what? Every part of this world is inhabited by Israel also. We're in every part. And what are we moving as? The problem is we moving as Esau. We're thinking that we're them and they know who the hell they are.
Yep.
They know they ain't us.
Yep.
But we think that they're them. We think that we're them.
Yeah.
You see that? So, yeah, the people in that land, Russia, that's not those are not the original inhabitants. Some are, but you just gotta know that you know how much stuff that happened in that land between the Mongolians and the Chinese, between the Mongolians and the Japanese, between the Mongolians and Chinese coming together, between them fighting. You got man, it's just been so much. Why did the Great Wall of China was built? That was built to keep the Mongolians from invading China.
Yep.
But then somehow a Mongolian patterned his whole, or China was patterned after the whole Mongolian society. They took on Mongolian custom. Why? Because they start to integrate. So you got, but then you got a whole country of what? But you got a whole country of Mongolia? Yes, you do. To this day. But the Mongolians ain't the Mongolians. Why? Because they integrated with the Chinese. They integrated with the Japanese. But then think about it. I was looking into this. The first Chinese dynasties, the major dynasties in China were black. Black people with froze and stuff. Not those Jew froze. Right. No, I'm talking about Negro hair, dark skin, black folks. Yeah. Writing in Hebrew and stuff. Yeah. So who are they fighting against, man? Who are we always fighting? We always fighting somebody. Mm-hmm. And what would they do? And then what would happen? The war would stop, and then we integrate, intermingle. And then what would happen? They intermingle, weaken us, and we're the ones that are on the bottom. That's what the Bible said. So we always are going to get whitewashed and washed out regardless. So that's why when you go to China today, it's whitewashed. It's Edomite Chinese and mixed up Chinese, but then you got little speckle of Jews up in there, hidden in those mountains, hidden in those temples. Go to Philippines. Yeah. They look dark, but they ain't the dark ones. Go to them go to them hills where they call them little niggas. They call them little niggas. Go to Vietnam. Go to those places and you'll see like, oh, okay, I get it. But see, one of the problems with our people is we don't travel. Yeah. And we don't look at world history and things that happen throughout the world to understand that people constantly migrate. People move, the land doesn't. So that's what happened with that. The people moved, the land didn't move. The people that are there are not the people. So it's not Esau that's there. It is Esau that's in Russia now. Russia, Poland, Ukraine, Belarus, Latvia, right? Them same spots that this idiot is fighting over, that he wants back. I mean, look at Putin. If he ain't just an Edomite, yeah, God. If he ain't the epitome, he ain't all hairy and stuff because he shaves. Let him grow that beard out. That nigga would look like the Loch Ness Monster. Let him grow that beard out, and I guarantee you that thing come out like, right? He's shaving. You can tell he keep his face nice and trimmed. Anyway, hopefully that kind of answered the question on that. Let's go to Matthew's. Let's go to the reading.
This is Matthew chapter 5, verse 23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother have aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First, be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Yeah. What was the Most High showing? Again, the willing mind to do what? The willingness to fix issues amongst one another and not try to appease the Most High. Like, look at me, Lord. I got a gift for you. And try to, remember the scripture said a gift does what?
Destroy the heart.
Yeah. It said a gift destroyed the heart. A gift blind the eyes. You can't blind the eyes of the Lord, though. Niggas be trying to, like, bamboozle the Lord. Like, well, I know I'm beefing with this cat, but here goes my sacrifice. Right. Most High's like, listen, bro, get up out of here with that. You ain't gonna blind me. I'm not stupid. Right? Go talk to your bro, get back on point, and then you can bring your sacrifice. Listen, I just want y'all to think about this. If we are the sacrifice, the living sacrifice, and he said, drop your sacrifice and go deal with your brother, that means that he'll reject you if you got grudge. Yeah. If you're grudging. Don't y'all get it? And how will he reject you? Well, you won't have no spiritual growth. You won't get you'll be stagnant. And then 5 years later, you'll sit back and think like, man, why am I in the same place that I started at? Well, because you were so hell-bent on trying to give yourself in the wrong way with this grudging spirit that you didn't realize it was about mending with the next man. And then once you gave yourself, remember, he said, go there real quick. Watch. Go to Romans 12. We always go here, but it's something about it. Go to Romans 12:1, right?
Romans chapter 12, verse 1.
Right?
I beseech you, therefore, brethren,
Right?
by the mercies of the Most High,
Right?
that ye present your bodies
Right?
a living sacrifice,
Go ahead.
holy,
Wait, what?
holy,
Wait, what?
holy,
Go ahead.
acceptable,
Wait, what?
acceptable.
Why would I be accepted if I'm not doing the things to be accepted? He said, be holy and be acceptable. Well, go mend fences with the next man. Go fix those issues. Get rid of your grudge. Then I'll accept you. But we're like, no, I want to be accepted. See, I'm here. Accept me. Most High is like, nigga, you're rejected. You're rejected. You know why? Because you got a grudgeful spirit. You got hate in your heart. You don't really care. You don't want to do the things that need to be done for yourself first so you could affect others positively.
Right.
You don't want to sacrifice. You don't want to give up. You just think because you're here.
That's enough.
That's enough. He said, drop the being here and go fix situations so that when you're here, I'll accept you. Because what's the point of you being here? You're just going to be standing in line waiting. Like them Africans out there in Ukraine. They there too at the damn border. And guess what they doing? They waiting. They're rejected. You're going to be just like them. Standing at the border for 14 hours wishing to get in. Right? So you got to drop that grudge. Drop all that stuff. Fix that. And then come back and present yourself without those weights. Without that hate. Without that malice in your heart. Go ahead. What you got?
1 John chapter 4 and verse 20.
Yeah, read it.
If a man say, I love the Most High,
Right?
and hateth his brother,
Right?
he is a liar.
Yeah. You're a liar. Lie not one to another, but stop lying to yourself. You a liar, man. You ain't never seen God. You ain't never seen him. You ain't never heard him. You don't know what he looked like. You don't know nothing about him. But I love God. How? How can you love something you don't even know about? That's the thing that's trippy. Like, you gotta, like, I don't like to be around these certain people, but I love the Most High. Wait, what? So you don't like to be around the certain brothers or sisters. You got sisters that don't want to be around certain sisters because they're immature. Wait a minute, so how mature are you? How mature are you for you to sit back and act like you a godly person? I love the Lord. Barakatha Yahweh. Yahweh Shamar Lathan Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? You doing all that crap, fronting and faking. Talking about you love the Lord, but you don't want to be around the people that the Lord put around you to mirror you and to show you how you supposed to move better.
God.
How hypocritical.